Would you consider yourself a minimalist or a maximalist?
Maximalist, that's very easy. There's no question about that, really. When you see it, you probably, well, I don't know, this isn't suggesting much, but yeah.
I see a little bit in the corner. Sweet or savory?
Probably savory, actually. Yeah.
Rap or rock music?
Oh, do I have to choose? I mean, I know quite a lot of raps, so maybe I'll go for rap. It's always fun to learn a rap.
Being on stage or in the studio?
Oh, that's tough. They're both my favorites. I'm going to go on stage. That's like when you get to like eat the spoils.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram for me. I'm in my 40s.
Murder on the dance floor or crying at the discotheque?
Oh, Murder on the Dance Floor. It's an old friend.
Did you slowly get used to it going viral, or is that still like a shocker?
Well, it's definitely quite hard to totally get your head around, but I do think it's really exciting and fun, and I've been very much enjoying myself, and I think it's pretty magical as well. So yeah, I think I don't know if I've totally taken on board everything, but I do know I'm having a nice time. So something is working.
Very cool. Do you remember the moment when you realized that it was going that viral?
I don't think it works like that because it's kind of by increments, really. But I think the tipping point for me actually is probably like when people started getting in touch with me that I hadn't heard from for a while, and I heard the song when I wasn't expecting to. So, I'd be scrolling through TikTok or Insta, and then suddenly my song would be there, and I'm not expecting it, and that's really special because you think, okay. Now I would hear it even if I wasn't trying to find it. And that's always quite a moment, I think.
Were you like, you didn't know too much about how it would be incorporated in Saltburn? Like, I think you knew there was going a dance scene and that somebody would be naked. Were you even a little bit scared you wouldn't like the scene?
Not really. I think obviously I was curious about the movie as a whole, but I knew that so I'd seen Promising Young Woman, so I knew that Emerald Fennell was talented and interesting, and I knew it would be an interesting film, but I don't think I knew I was going to enjoy the film so much because I hadn't seen it yet. So that was always a bit of a question mark. But I was really happy to have it involved because I trusted her, even though I'd never met her at that time.
And you were actually really happy, so that turned out great.
Yes, what a relief. No, I thought it was brilliant, actually. I thought it was really funny and dark and twisted and all the good stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Is that kind of like the films and movies with that genre you enjoy in general, or was it like that movie in particular?
No, I do quite like that kind of thing, actually. Yeah, I quite like, I like things that make me laugh, but I also like thrillers and horrors. But fundamentally with movies, I think I just like a really good story well told. And I think it is a good story well told. So that's my favorite, always.
And did your view on your song, like on Murder on the Dance Floor, did it change over the last like 20 years?
Like, yeah, I think things do change, really, because I think nothing really stays static. That's kind of the opposite of how it should work as well, I think. So, like when you first release a song, you start performing it live, and that progresses your relationship with it. And then you maybe see how people interact with it, and that progresses your relationship with it. So everything that happens with a song, all your experiences with it, move the relationship on. So I think it's always evolving, and that's part of what's exciting. I really love that feeling. So yeah, I think it has changed, but not in a bad way. Just like, the good thing is I always liked the song and I always liked singing it. So that never changed, which is lucky.
So you still enjoy also performing it and singing it?
Yeah, very much so. And I'm like that with all my old songs, actually. I'm on good terms with all of them, which is a really nice feeling because it's like they're all old friends. And especially when you get to the point, I've done 7 albums. So now when I make a show, I can really choose what I think is needed. And that's really fun.
That is pretty cool. I get that. So probably having a song like that old back on the charts wasn't on your New Year's resolution, right?
No, oh my goodness, it's completely unexpected. Yeah, no, that I hope I haven't given you the impression I was expecting any of this. I really, really wasn't. No, very much
No,
not.
not at all. Did you have any New Year's resolutions?
I don't make New Year's resolutions actually. No, I think January's tough enough without, letting myself down. I don't trust myself with a New Year's resolution, so no, I'm okay with that. But I was planning quite a quiet January, and I'm in the studio quite a lot, and I'm songwriting and making a new album. So I thought I'd have a very sleepy, quiet start to the year. So that's not exactly how it's been.
That sounds pretty healthy. To just go with the flow of the January, the new year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And actually, as I'm talking to you, it's a really beautiful day here in London. It's cold, but it's really sunny and blue sky, so it's a nice wintry day. I feel quietly optimistic.
That's good. Very soon you will be taking the kitchen disco through Europe.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Very excited. I love touring. It's a complete privilege. I did my first European tour last year, the first one I'd done in 20 years, and it went really well and we loved it. So I'm feeling really excited about coming back and going to more places, and yeah, it'll be really, really lovely to be back on the road and having a fun time with people.
Yeah, I'm really excited. You're also coming to Germany, so good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to come to Germany. I've had some of my favorite gigs I've ever done in Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can still remember the first ever tour I did in Germany so this would have been 2002. And funnily enough, it was the first tour I'd done with my husband, who was then just my bass player. And I've got really strong memories of all of that and playing these gigs. I remember in Berlin, particularly, I played in this venue that was really clubby. And it was really hot, but it was really exciting. So yeah, I do really love touring. I love the excitement of gigs. I find them really satisfying.
And is there one particular stop that you are very excited for, or is it just the whole tour?
I think just the whole thing, actually, because for me, touring Europe is quite glamorous because you go to sleep on the bus and you wake up somewhere new and you get to explore a city that maybe you haven't been to for a while or you've never been to. And it gives you such a different perspective on your own life as well. And for me, whenever I've got a show in the evening, I always spend all day walking around. I like to get a real sense of where I am. I like to eat some local food. So I think I'm gonna have fun, actually. Yeah.
I hope so. So did you ever think about the fact someone reached out to you for Saltburn to get Murder on the Dance Floor on the film? Did you ever think about if you could have chosen the song, would it have been a different song?
What, for that scene?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'd ever be like, you need some of my songs in there. You mean just choose something completely different? I think definitely one thing I do agree with completely is I think that the song that plays in that moment needs to be something that kind of breaks the tension, because there's been so much going on and a lot of it's really dark. So I think you need a song that does that same, a little bit of camp. So I'd probably choose another camp pop record, wherever that may be.
It is a really disco pop song, but actually you did start out when you started your career with indie music.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the indie scene.
Mm-hmm.
Do you miss that sometimes?
No, because I feel like that's still part of me. I feel like all of it's part of me. I mean, I came from the indie music, and that sort of set the approach I gave to dance music, weirdly. I sort of came at it from that angle. But I've always loved pop. Like when I was a child, I was a proper pop kid. But the great thing is I don't really have to choose. So I haven't really left anything behind. I've just got more greedy. I think it's all in there. It's all part of me.
So you never thought about switching to a complete different genre or trying something new?
But I have. I did. So the last pop record I made that was properly pop dance was my fourth record. That was called Make a Scene. And then after that, I started writing with a singer-songwriter called Ed Harcourt, and we did a folk album called Wanderlust. And that was no dance, no disco, no four on the floor. And then I did an album called Familia that was kind of Latin American. Then Hannah, which is proggy. I did an orchestral greatest hits. I've actually been quite greedy. I've done loads of different stuff. I've done trance music, you know, I've done a waltz. I think I've done, I've been more experimental than your average pop singer, I think, because I enjoy it, because it's fun.
And is that still a different genre on your bucket list?
It's not really how my mind works. I just go very much with where I'm at. I mean, I think for me, albums are always like writing a diary. You kind of try and sum up where it is you're at that moment and all the emotions you're going through and what you're thinking about. So I just really indulge and bed into whatever it is I want to do right then. And that's it. And then I do it and then I feel good. So yeah, it's worked for me. I like it. I really enjoy it.
That sounds pretty go with the flow and also really healthy. Like your January starting the year. Like,
yeah,
that sounds pretty healthy.
I'm not a big planner because I think even if you plan things, they don't really work out that way anyway. But I also think it's really rewarding. The more you can be in the moment with what's happening, the more rewarding it is. Because actually, you know, when you start out, everything you do is like, well, if I do that TV show, maybe then I'll get to do this. And if I have my song played on the radio here, maybe I'll get to play on that. And that's quite exhausting. And I can see why you do that when you start. But now I'm just really enjoying the fact that I do what I love. I'm having a great time. I've got brilliant people around me. I share what I do with lots of people, whose support is invaluable to me. So I feel like I'm just really getting the most out of it. And it's really good fun. Yeah.
Is that like a part of your life where you are like the happiest with at the moment? Like, what do you most enjoy about your life right now?
I think that for me, the thing I most enjoy actually is the momentum, because I think that's a real privilege if you get momentum. And I think there's been elements that, times in my career where the momentum is in short supply, and then it's like pushing a boulder and you're the only one cheerleading the next project. And that's normal, but it's not like the easiest. You have to sometimes dig a bit deep. So anytime where there's like a good energy around what you're doing, I think that makes you feel really good. So, there's momentum with, my relationships with my kids, so with family life, with my things that are happening to some of my friends, but also creatively. And I think that's a really positive energy to have around things, because I know what it feels like when it's not there as much. So I very much appreciate that.
You also you seem to be really, really busy. Like, you go on tour, you make music, you have a family, you have a podcast. Is there some other than that, like some hobbies that you practice or that you would love to practice, maybe that you would see yourself?
No, I'm not really looking for anything outside of it, but probably like lots of people, I sometimes feel like, I could definitely do with a few more hours in the day, but that's a nice feeling to have, really. And I think it is a busy life, but I'm lucky because I never feel there's no weariness. And I think if you're passionate about the different elements of your life, then you find time for it, and it's like a nice bounce to have, and it won't last forever. It's like, it really feels like it's a moment in time with all of it. I just don't take for granted that it'll always be there. So yeah, it's a nice feeling to be aware that things are special. So I'm just trying to be in that, really.
That's pretty cool. In an interview, you said that you would love to collaborate more with female artists, maybe female artists having such a boost right now, maybe I think you said Lorde and Olivia Rodrigo. With them, would you like to start new things or maybe spice up some songs you or they already have?
I don't really know, and I don't know what form that would take. I mean, I think with that, I don't, look, they don't need me to work with them. It's more that I'm excited to see so many amazing artists. And I think particularly with women, when I started out, you weren't very encouraged to be very supportive to each other, but actually there's room for everybody, and I think women supporting women is just such a incredible thing. So yeah, I even if I'm just cheering from the sidelines, you know, it's a nice thing to see so many impressive female artists out there.
That's very much true. Is that something you like saw change during the last years, like a lot? Like you
dominating, or
yeah, and the women support women, women dominating more in music, like
yeah, I think so actually. I think maybe, you know, look, I started my solo career in the early noughties, and it was a different time. I mean, you know, if you look back at the sort of questions women were asked or how they were analysed, I mean, aspects of it are the same, but I definitely think that the messaging of, you know, doing things that feel authentic, doing things that feel right for you, being able to share on online platforms exactly how you feel about stuff has given people more authority over the decisions that are being made, and makes it exciting as well, because you're not going through lots of filters to get your message out. You can actually set the tone of everything. So I think that's a more empowered position overall. Yeah.